Hello.
Oh!
Welcome back to Higurashi. It's Meakashi time.
I am so ready for today. We're in the answer arcs, boys. It's time to throw all of your theorizing out the window and just be told exactly what's happening,
We got
right?
this lovely new logo. We got the menus.
Text, the font's different, I think, for the options there. This is beautiful. And the music, which hasn't started yet, really, but I'm excited for it.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Dice coming in.
Yes, we also...
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
We have the April 1st update of music installed.
We do. I don't think it'll affect this very much, though. I feel like Di's tracks are pretty much what Hundo Solido. I don't feel like there's anything that you would want to change. If they have, then I'll just chalk it up to more heresy.
Well, they did update the files for Meakashi.
They did.
I did see the update roll
Bastards.
in, so I don't know what they've actually done.
Hopefully nothing.
Anyway... As we've said many times leading up to this, now is the time to reflect on your theories.
Yay.
Talk about what you think is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Do it. That's your job, not mine. Get on it, dude.
I think, first of all, I'd like to say, once again, that Takano is the bad guy.
What? No, she's such a nice lady. She helped Keiichi, like, get around town and he's busted up bike or whatever, you know? She's such a nice lady.
I think she is killing Tomitaki.
Flash.
Thank you.
I got you.
I think she's staging her own death. I think that she is running things behind the scenes. And I think that the reason this is because of her fascination with the mythos of the town, and that's why she's executing it the way she is. But I think that the reason she's doing it all is something to do with a father figure in her life.
That's a character that we have somewhere floating around?
I don't know. We've had a lot of kind of mentions of that father figure type thing in scenes with Takano. She will often bring it up when kind of like insinuating something with another character. I'm particularly thinking of a scene outside the storehouse, or not even the storehouse, during the like festival prep in Arc 2. And I think that that's kind of like where we're leaning with that. I don't know if I can pull any more from that, or if I'd gone through and dug out more than I already have, like what I would see there. But that's kind of the thematics that I'm seeing with Takano moving forwards.
Sure.
I reckon that Irie is working with her reluctantly.
Okay.
I think that maybe the clinic is a front for what they're doing. That's why Irie is connected with mountain dogs or whatever the fuck that is. I reckon that's why he's the one that showed up with the black-clad dudes at the end of Arc 1. I reckon that's why he committed suicide before the gas attack in Arc 3. I reckon that's why he's like so protective of Sadako, because he knows what's going on in terms of like the Hinamizawa syndrome and how it's affecting her very significantly.
Sure.
You know, maybe even the fact that we see her arrive with Irie to her house in Arc 3 is maybe like he's taken her in for treatment, and this is them coming back from that under the guise of having gone shopping.
Right, maybe. Where do you think Keiichi fits in all this?
I mean, that's kind of an interesting one. I've said several times that I think the reason that he's moved to Hinamizawa is obviously something that happened, because it doesn't, I guess, logistically make sense for his family to have moved here, considering that his father's still having to take so many work trips to Tokyo. I think that given all of the throwbacks we've had to his education and how that was a difficult time for him, you know, maybe he like acted out in a certain way, and his parents like, you know, had to bite the bullet and pull him away from that city lifestyle. Because it doesn't really seem the way that, as I've said, his parents, you know, they work back in a city. His mother, I think, was an academic, right?
Yeah.
Like that, there's no, you know, institution of study other than the local library we've really been introduced to. So I don't think it makes sense for his family to be here for any other reason than him. And because we've also had those throwbacks to his previous studies.
Sure.
The syndrome itself, Hinamizawa syndrome, I think that's just like a local affliction. Something, you know, maybe I think that the like gas attack at the end of Arc 3 was a deliberate thing, but it may also be insinuating that the syndrome is a kind of like airborne thing, and that's kind of what the whole miasma theme has been throughout, that's kind of like a parallel between the deliberate attack and the syndrome itself, because we kind of started to see Akasaka towards the end of Arc 4 get more and more delusional, and like, you know, whether to say that what he saw with Rika was
it was like real or not, because I know that's something you're kind of figuring on about, whether it's like it's real or whether it's supernatural, it's hallucinations or whatever you think.
Yeah, like the way that I think that going back and looking at everything that Keiichi's done, I think that he hasn't completely fabricated an entire scene at any point. He's just misinterpreted a scene. Because if we look at Rena's dialogue in Arc 1, you know, it's very obvious that she's like saying like, hey, I'm going to help you, but he's like, oh god, that means that she's going to help me by ending my life.
Makes sense to me, dude.
Yeah, like, you know, that's to paraphrase it significantly, but that's kind of the vibe. So I think that, you know, what we saw from Rika at the end of Arc 4, she does know more than she's letting on, but it's not like weird and creepy eyes. It's just that that's how Akasaka is interpreting it, as he's in the like early stages of being afflicted by the syndrome, because he's now traveled to this place.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know, dude.
I think maybe it's a bit tricky to say with like how that affects Suishi, because obviously he's still there, but we haven't really seen him afflicted by it in any way.
He's just a good boy. He's just there to like avenge his friend's death and definitely not do anything illegal or suspicious, like smoking in hospital.
Yeah. And I think one of the main things that I've seen is that like isolation seems to aggravate the symptoms, because like Sadako being separated from her friends, Rena traveling away from I guess that's not really isolation, but kind of a similar thematic arc. Rena like going to another school outside the village and then starting to show these symptoms. Shmion rather, in Arc 2, like cutting themselves off from the rest of the world and then just slowly going more and more insane.
Maybe.
That kind of seems to be the thematic follow-through. I guess you could also say that Akasaka being separated from his wife during that period maybe aggravated his.
It's a little stressful, you know?
Yeah. Sonozaki family, I don't think that they're responsible or involved. Okay. I think most of what we've seen them do has been for their own gain, and their own gain seems to be keeping their monopoly over the town running, so why they would just destroy and kill everyone in the village seems very counter to that goal.
What about Rika, my dude?
Rika...
I've been dancing around her.
Yeah, I think Rika knows what's going on. I don't necessarily know why. Maybe that's part of the significance of her role as, like, the inheritor of the shrine. I think that she has kind of been on top of things. You know, maybe she's working with Irie. Maybe, as I said, I think in the Arc 3 post-edit, that she's, like, working with Irie to keep on top of however much treatment Sadako needs for her symptoms. I don't know why she knows in advance the plans of the operation plan, you know, like who's going to die at certain points, particularly her own death. My initial guess would be that Irie has been working with her, but I don't know why he would have so early with such a young girl. Right. Particularly while her parents were still alive. You know, maybe Irie communicated that to her parents, and then she heard that from her parents.
Maybe.
You know, particularly when we see, like, Ario, I guess, being very open to sharing things with Rika in Himatsubushi.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that Ario found out and told Rika because, you know, she, being the old loving lady of the young supposed deity, felt that it was only right to share it with her, considering that it revolved around her.
I mean, yeah, everyone respects Rika. Every single damn person at village is like, yo, Rika-chan, come and have my food and don't worry about paying for it.
Yeah.
And boy, aren't you in a dilly of a pickle, Rika. Let me help you out, you know?
Yeah, so to kind of go through the arcs,
sure.
I've spent a lot of time trying to pin down, like, because initially I thought that the syndrome was, like, and maybe like an injected thing, and that's why we were getting the thematics of the needle. through a lot of the story. But I don't think that that's necessarily what's happened.
Okay.
So, Arc 1, we have, it's Tabasco or whatever in the food that they prepare.
Yeah.
It's a marker when they go to draw on his shirt in his house at the end. They called Irie there because, maybe as locals to the village, they know what the syndrome is, and they're like, yo, Irie, could you come help us with this?
Right.
But then whoever is in charge, probably Takano, is like, well, hold on, you gotta send what I assume to be the mountain dogs out with you, in case he's, gone completely over the top with his symptoms, which, he obviously does. Then in Arc 2, I'm going to struggle to get this straight in my head, but I
believe in you.
Shion, I think, carried out the crimes. Mion was in the cage. Mion died as was described in the autopsy, but Shion then escaped and had that whole thing, had that scene, argued with herself, and threw herself off the building. I'm trying to think, what else have I got?
What other mysteries are there in Arc 1 and 2 that are important?
Who killed Rika, I guess, towards the end of Arc 3? I'm going to say Takano, because it seems like she's the only one that would really understand the rituals enough to go through that.
Okay.
It's not really specified to us whether or not the ritual, I guess, is carried out correctly, in quotations, at the end of Arc 3, but I feel like that's implied.
Yep. And what do you think about the murder of Tepe? You think that happened and he's still dead at the end of the arc?
That happened. I reckon... I'm still tossing up between the Sonozaki family recovering the corpse under Mion's orders, or the Mountain Dogs recovering the corpse under Irie's orders.
Okay.
Or maybe even they rocked up there at the same time with shovels and were like, we just get the body and did it
Call
together.
Truce? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I kind of lean more towards Mion because we obviously get to see her, I guess, probably creating an alibi for Keiichi is the briefest way to put it. But, also with Irie asking how many mountain dogs are there, it could be to keep Keiichi under control, but because we don't see them show up immediately as Keiichi tries to escape, I don't think that's what they were necessarily ordered to do. Yeah, and trying to think, what else have we done?
I don't know, dude. Who killed Akasaka's wife?
Gravity.
Wow, that's pretty mean to Gravity. What has Gravity ever done to you?
Many injuries, Ben.
Look,
many injuries.
Name one other character in this. Actually, that's true. Actually, I've been injured many times by Gravity. Yes. Anyway, I have a sprained wrist right now. Point is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else.
Gravity, deadly killer.
Oh yeah, the other thing I haven't mentioned was I think that Rika's death at the end of Arc 3 is meant to be a symbolic beginning to the gas attack, to try and create a mythical connection between those two.
Maybe.
Because obviously they've tried to go with the natural explanation of, it was, volcanic gas or whatever. Yeah, it was volcanic gas. But really what I think has happened is that they've tried to say look, we killed the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, thus the village was no longer protected by this thing, and now the gas has come out and spread.
Sure enough.
So kind of create a supernatural alibi for their actions. And then when the JSDF comes in, to gather all the bodies and whatnot, and they're talking about, there was in particular that, there's a bunch of lines in that scene with the defense force, where it seems like the soldiers are acting very reluctantly. It could be that it's just that they're faced with a lot of death and that's awful, but there's particularly some where they're just don't let him die and no one else should die, where I think that that's implying that they feel guilty for what they've been ordered to do, so they're trying to save this life as an act of redemption. Maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a specific line there that comes to mind. I might flash it up on screen.
Yeah, go for it.
But that's definitely the implication that I get there.
For sure.
I don't know. Do you have any other questions?
I don't know. I feel like you've covered everything pretty thoroughly.
Yeah.
What happened to Kuma-chan?
Best boy. I think. Is that a fucking lawnmower? Right.
Yeah, boy.
I hope you guys can't hear that too
Hopefully.
badly. I think when we get to the end of Arc 1, where Keiichi's like run out near the dump site and he runs into those two guys, as I was saying, I don't think he entirely fabricated any scenes. So I think those two were there. And I think that maybe if we imply that that's like the furthest point into the village, if Kuma-chan's gone in to investigate that part of the village, maybe instead of Keiichi running into those two, it was Kuma-chan, and he's now been like abducted by them or whatever. I don't know. I'm assuming they're, the mountain dogs or whatever it is, but I'm not certain on that. Cool. But I think that that's what's happened to him.
Yeah, I feel like you've covered most of it. I'm trying to think if there's anything in Arc 4 that's worth addressing. Most of that is kind of just past stuff. I don't know, what's up with the nerds who, like, they take the mayor's daughter or whatever? Or son, I should say. Jerry. Look, I remember Jerry. I don't remember anyone else's damn name. What's going with them? They're, like, work for the Sonozakis, are they? Or
I think that was when the Sonozakis were still unaware what was going on, and they were trying to actually make, like, some underhanded pulls to get the dam site stopped.
Right.
I did also have the thought that maybe that was Takano trying to frame the Sonozaki family, while she used that as an excuse to get, like, military funding for the operation that she then carried out.
Makes sense.
Like, I don't think that there's much foreshadowing for that component in particular, but that is a thought that crossed my mind. I'm mainly on the Sonozakis on that one.
Sure.
I think in particular, like, that's more meant to be an exploration of how they aren't innocent, but they still act for, arguably the right reasons.
Sure.
Because that's obviously something that we've explored several times in Ryukishi's works, even in Higurashi alone.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's most of the mysteries, kind of, you've addressed them. Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that springs to mind?
I'm sure there'll be something in editing that I'll be kicking myself I didn't mention. You
can always throw it in the end, or someone in the comments wants to let us know if we missed anything. Yeah, I don't know. I have my own little note I want to mention before we get started on this arc, but it's not nearly as grandiose as theory crafting. So, you got anything else?
Oh yeah, I think
here we go.
I think I mentioned this in a previous video, which is probably why it didn't immediately spring to mind. But I think that the reason we don't have any mention of the gas attack or something that made them suspicious at the end of Arc 2 is because Rika didn't die under circumstances that would fulfill what Takano wanted to do.
Okay.
So that's part of why I'm leaning on on those being connected actions, because when Rika's death wasn't ritualistic in the open is when we don't get as much of a clear indication as to whether the attack happened.
For sure.
Yeah. Anyway, you were going to say.
I was going to say, because, look, I don't have theories to throw around. I can't be doing that. It's not my job. However, what I can do is relay emotional anecdotes about crazy stuff. I'm going to let you know, there's a bit of a story behind this. Between reading, or rather watching Higurashi and reading Umineko, I found the 10th anniversary CD that Dai did. He remade a bunch of his tracks, made a bunch of new ones for both stories. I'm gonna let you know, some of the Umineko tracks that I had heard from his album then in Umineko made me cry like a little baby, because I was like, it's that track, oh, I know what that one means.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I start just bawling tears all over the table when a specific track comes on, you just gotta work with me. It's gonna happen.
It's right, I'm well experienced with this.
I just want to let you know, if I tear up, it's not my fault. Blame Dai.
That is a long red line.
It is. It's terrifying.
Let's go.
Are we gonna get that baby laugh? I think we might.
And it's a replacement.
Because they changed it. They changed it from the kid laugh. Oh!
Let's go.
See, okay. Meakashi, beloved cutthroat. Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi when they cry kai, or solutions, as the English people call it. We've finally reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonists, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. The difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrator.
Okay.
That's a weird one. What do you make of that?
Nothing.
Good. Let's go. I'm gonna get my voice ready, I think.
Yeah. It's
green.
It is.
It's all different. Weird.
There it is.
Ooh.
Oh.
Let's do this. All right, here we go. Where's my poem? She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sands, so the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean, so the girl cried. How many years will pass before the girl wonders if she really dropped them at all?
This one doesn't have the broken text under it.
This is a work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons or organizations is entirely coincidental. Good luck. There we go. I can't wait for this shit. I suppose I'm gonna have to assume, I've never read this myself, but we know this is the Shion arc. So I suppose you should give it your best impression.
Right. I'm just gonna do my voice for the opening narration.
Oh, well then I'm gonna do it. If we're just doing that regular narration, screw off, that's my job.
Okay.
Alright, I'll take it. 7 keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key one by one. On average, I'd reach the correct key within 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock within the first 3 keys, and I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only on the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness, my head ached from it. I put the key in and turned it. I just need to repeat that small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn, even a 3-year-old kid could do something this easy. So am I more childish than a 3-year-old? Whatever, I don't care if I'm clumsy. I just need to try all these keys. Even in the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try.
No way.
Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than my worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. Did I get the wrong set of keys?
I don't know whether this is a replacement one or remastered, but this is way more impactful than the old sound that did this.
Yeah, it's good stuff. No, I definitely see a faint marking that says this set is for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. If I can't open this lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there were no other choice, it'd be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administration office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. I won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. I stood up quickly as if electrified. I was almost in a panic and so felt the urge to move. My instinct pushed me. I have to go back there as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be here, and it's also dangerous if somebody comes into the administration office. I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible, to repress my fear. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation.
Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? Next moment I felt a faint vibration in the air. Somebody was walking somewhere in the hallway. If it were a normal situation, I would have known I wouldn't run into them, since the footsteps were very far away. But at the time, I couldn't think calmly. Shit.
Wow, language.
Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down, calm down. I should be feeling excited instead. Calm down, calm down. I just need to do what I have to do. I should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Shit. This key should be hard and cold, but it's pliable and hot. It feels like rubber. How can I stick this into the keyhole? Shit. It wasn't the key that was pliable. It's my fingers that were limp. Shit. The key sprung out of my hand and fell to the floor. It shouldn't have made any sound, because it was so pliable, but it made a tremendous metal noise as if somebody had pushed over a cupboard.
Cling!
The sound almost stopped my heart. I felt dizzy for a while. I looked around afterwards to carefully see if I'd caused any disturbance to the surroundings. Calm down. Nothing's changed. I don't hear anything. So, am I safe? The bells. Calm down. Wait, I don't hear anything. What about those footsteps in the distance? Calm down. Are they looking for me after they notice the sound? Shit. What's that sound I'm hearing? Is it my sweat dripping on the floor? Shut up. I gotta hear the sound of my sweat. Calm down. Calm the fuck down. I have to clarify. This isn't a prison or a detention center.
Oh, thank goodness.
It's school.
It's school!
Oh, there we go.
Oh, good lord. The worst prison of all. Oh.
Have we addressed this before with Shion? I don't remember.
I think it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
She went to a school.
It is one of the things that I went into the story knowing, so I feel like I should declare it.
Sure.
That one of the things I knew about Shion is that she went to St. Lucia Academy. So, there you go. Full disclosure.
Yeah. Also, shout out to the first eye track. I don't remember what this one's called, but I recognize it. This is good shit, guys. We're getting into it. Get your audio nerd booklets out. Oh, God.
Not a normal one, though. It costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. Being for girls only rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. That doesn't sound like Shion. Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying how nice to see you instead of just hi is already insane. And calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. I hate the morning and evening prayers, to say nothing of the Sunday Mass. I want to memorize the Bible passages, and the Holy Ghost gives me a rash. If I stayed in this institution, that's what I call the place, for many years, I'd either go crazy or be brainwashed.
Get your ass out, girl!
Most of the girls choose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that.
Yeah!
After all, I was more impressed by the political schemes and internal trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God which the Bible teaches. Because of that, I've been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I don't know if the percussion started then because I clicked or whether we just timed that really
I don't know,
nicely.
dude. I'm pretty sure it's his time well. It's so good.
Because of that, I've never been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. Oh, no, I had been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. Did I swear I added a never in there.
It happens.
It happens.
I won't worry about it.
I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretended to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. I became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew it was going to backfire on me later? After examining my emotions, I realized that I'd completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this situation. I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending became fun once I'd set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence that I started to behave religiously. I laughed at them behind their backs. I took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. I soon found out that the security of the school was immensely tight because there were many daughters of important people living there. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders ironically also worked to prevent escapees, but that excited me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during class and tested if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. No matter how hard they tried to brainwash me, I'd never change. I'd been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. I imagined all the possible obstacles and trained myself. It was funny because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes, even the long-distance runs. I needed a perfect plan as well as the physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. Also supported by those things, I needed determination. I made sure that I had all I needed and executed the plan. I decided to plant a seed in school before the appointed day. Seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into the details now, but I can turn that into an enormous problem in this school. The school is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kind of problems. Those parents are mostly important people from various positions. I won't go into the details now, but let's go into the details.
10 minutes later.
If the romance was a fact and was leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame. In fact, even that might not be enough.
Damn, you're playing with lies and shit.
In the world of girls, rumors spread fast.
A world of girls. Perfect.
Especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. So this kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of that kind of rumor, and they warn the students not to be swayed by it, but apparently they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means that I managed to make them furtively deal with something shady without contacting the families and authorities. So if I disappeared in these circumstances, it'd look like I ran away with some teacher. So the rumors about herself?
I guess so.
Ballsy move.
Good luck.
All the male teachers would deny it, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they'd said so easily. After all, this dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe.
Yeah, boy.
I tried hard to spread the rumor that I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible.
How do you, I mean, I guess you could just be like, oh, that teacher, he's such a cutie. He gave me, gifts or whatever. I guess that'd be how you do it. I was thinking, how can you do that reliably, spreading a rumor about yourself? Because, spreading about someone else, I feel like isn't too difficult. Right? Yourself is a little trickier, you know?
Well, I mean, if you wanted to go into full detail of how you could be such a sociopath, I'm sure we could plot it out.
I'm sure we could. I don't want to.
The sister questioned me a few times, but since the romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. After 3 months, I was certain that I created a solid foundation. I swapped after dinner duties with my classmates so that I could adjust my schedule on this day. I was even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect I ran away with some male teacher. But what if a male teacher doesn't run away?
Then the whole plan is nothing. That's it. You've failed before you've even begun. The crime has never occurred.
Shokeichi. Tonight was the night. I began my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearance. My generous roommate would probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to a sister, but no longer than that. I had about an hour tops, but that's enough for me. I took a step off my regular route. That was the first step towards my great escape.
Are we flashing back? Totally? Oh,
Yes.
This is great. It's like a proper heist.
I calmed down and thought, the key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I had the right one in, but the lock was just stiff and I only thought I got the wrong one? I realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingerprints must be getting in the way too. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought of giving up, I felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. I slowly opened the door. I could hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now, but somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. I can still make excuses up to this point. Might look awkward, but I still can. If I take a step outside now, there can be no excuse. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. There have been escape attempts before. That's not really so strange. I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people below.
Oh no, we found our first typo. How far we get in? 10 minutes?
It's like half an hour, but that includes theories.
I know. I'm sorry. I thought this one might be different, but I guess not.
You couldn't fit in this place. So the school is well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors about what happened to those who were caught while attempting to escape. Don't want to believe any of those stories, though. See, all the school's horror stories involve students who attempted escapes. That was brief.
Yeah. Dramatic shifts, fade. Let's go.
Whatever. Bring it on.
Dramatic cut, that's the word.
I'm not expecting to get a second chance anyway.
Oh
my God,
yeah.
more music.
Here we go.
There'll always be only one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I psyched myself up and pushed the door open.
I love this.
A strong smell was hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? I never smelled this strong grassy smell before. Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. This is fucking ripping
It's
guitar.
so good! Oh, I love it.
There's nothing strange going on. The smell is something I smell every day. I just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Calm down. Calm down, Shion.
I will say, I'm pretty sure Dai just did all of the music. If there are other composers, let me know in the comments, but I'm gonna just assume this is all Dai, because he's best boy and we fucking love him.
I'm sure we'll know when his record label copyright claims it.
You're absolutely correct. That'll be all the proof we need.
God. I've researched the locations of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident I'll be able to avoid all of them, but I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly after all. I have to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places, but There's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters.
Oh, shit.
I concentrated to keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance.
She's in a desperate situation.
On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move if I'm lucky. Damn. After all that effort, it just boils down to luck. This is a gamble after all.
Sounds like fun.
When I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test the determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape from this school, that meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes, Shion. I ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs, it was my own heartbeat. Crunch. Even my own footsteps were so loud they could break my eardrums. With each and every step, my overreactive imagination tormented me with premonitions of unexpected run-ins with guards. Countless times that torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. If I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running at a time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. If the footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on even letting them hear those footsteps. I tried to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I didn't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried that my senses might not be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me without me being aware of it. Didn't want to make any noise, so I stopped from time to time. It's like I'm constantly fidgeting. To stop or to run. Something within me urged to choose from either one.
Run.
I can't choose to stop.
Yeah.
I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I know that.
It's a gamble.
The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through this dangerous territory. I succeeded in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through that bush over there is the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. I suppressed that desire and carefully tackled the final step. The beautiful-looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapes. While I was worried that somebody might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It's even possible this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. Doesn't mean anything now since I'm already climbing up. From the top, the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to go down carefully, just like I did when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. I got scared because the flight was longer than I expected.
You should be okay.
I didn't land beautifully. I fell onto my butt.
Oh.
There was nobody around to laugh, and I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. I looked at my watch. 5 minutes till 8 p.m. It was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really made it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time I was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I was worried too much. I can't be too relaxed just yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet.
Just yeet it out. Let's go.
I hid myself in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous.
The rendezvous?
Kasai!
What? Who could it be? I was supposed to say that and then you say Kasai after that. He's a pretty cool guy, you know? He just does his job. He just has a good old time.
Also interesting that the closing logo is still in Japanese. I wonder if...
It's pretty neat, I suppose.
Is she literally just waiting outside the front gate? You wouldn't, like, you know, head a bit down the road?
I suppose so.
Or is this Kasai talking
That's a
right
great
now?
question. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess just keep going with Shion, but I'm not sure.
I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. I thought I'd experience a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. That sort of things only happen when you have good memories. I have no good memories of this school, so there's nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine, Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. Oh, what the hell. It's just too funny. Burst into laughter. At that point, I heard a car approaching.
Yay!
I crouched in the darkness. The plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed into the passenger side, then opened the door and got in. He has a sprite!
Look at him go!
Oh my god!
Kasai! Best boy! Nice to see you.
Did he have a sprite originally?
No, he definitely
Okay.
didn't. He's just a cool guy with sunglasses, he is.
Alright.
Nice to see you. Shion-san.
The driver was a man of early old age.
Shush you, early, very young.
He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged.
Damn right he is.
He looked at my face and learned that I succeeded. What?
What?
Surely the success is that she's just got in the car anyway, but okay.
Meh.
He smiled. Yeah, it feels so fresh. I want to eat a burger for a start.
I heard they serve excellent food in the school, but I suppose you were served nothing but cool, huh?
No way, dumbass. I was just kidding. Step on the gas if you have time to laugh at me.
As you wish.
Oh,
He laughed out loud. It's the ugly duckling song.
Cass, I really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quick that I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories.
How sad.
Goodbye, my lovely school days.
That is a bad anime.
I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Serves you right.
Yeah, get wrecked, school. Wouldn't you? What if you got that chance to say screw you to school, Felix?
I don't know. As we drove, the scenery began to change. Soon we were surrounded by the vast fields of crops and few streetlights. It reminded me this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe.
Are you hungry? Would you like me to stop somewhere to eat?
It's okay, I already ate. I lied! I'm actually a bit hungry. Oh my god, that tempo change.
It's amazing.
I didn't eat much at dinner to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciated Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in my enemy territory.
What?
In enemy territory. I added the my in there, I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
Yeah. Doing a lot of word addition today.
Yeah. It's late, so you'll find only vending machines at the highway rest stops. Oh, heard there are hamburger and Odin vending machines nowadays.
Huh? What the hell? Will that dispense a cup and the ingredients like a coffee vending machine? That's gross.
I don't think it's quite like that. Usually comes in a can.
Ugh, sorry, I can't stand canned food.
Still.
I get it because it's probably human.
Ha! Still, I thought you might have grown out of it.
I haven't because I can't. Shut up. Why are you laughing? He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative. I'm exhausted. I'm gonna get some sleep. How do I recline in this?
Look for the lever on the lower left part of the seat. Can you find it?
Oh, here it is. Here I go. Did I do something funny?
Oh, no, it's just that the way you talk sound like Mion-san.
Well, obviously. Mion and I are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way. How's sis?
I believe she's fine. I only seen her when I bring your father to the family councils.
That's right, she doesn't live in her parents' home anymore. She's living with the hag in Hinamizawa now, isn't she?
She moved into the main house around the same time you started going to that school.
I responded with disinterest, even though I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oreo, the current leader of the Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag.
Wow, rude.
But when we use the phrase the main house, it usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing. Did she change?
You mean Mion-san?
Yeah. I think she has to have changed if she's living so closely with the hag. He knows I hate my grandma.
I haven't noticed any changes. She's still the Mion-san you know.
What about me? Did I change?
No. Not at all.
Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. Haven't seen him for a while, though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. I glared at him and then he burst out laughing.
You haven't changed at all. That's admirable since you've been in such a strict school for so long.
Ah, damn it. Laugh as much as you want. I'm going to sleep.
There's a blanket in the back. Please, make use of it.
Thanks. I got the blanket and rolled up in it. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. Must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself. I'm sleeping. Totally am.
Alright, it's the third time you said that. Do I have to give you permission to sleep?
You're talking too much. I can't go to sleep if you don't quiet down.
I apologize, princess. I'll keep quiet now.
His interaction with Kasai reminded me of the old peaceful days in Ikinomiya.
Oh!
Well, I don't really know if I can call those days peaceful. We were in the middle of the dam protests back then after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. How you feeling?
I
just want to express how much I love that the music is better.
Yeah, I know. It's great, dude.
Like, it's one of those things, like, you know, you're in a room with a really loud air conditioner and you just start to tune it out for a while, and then eventually the air conditioning turns off and suddenly it's actually quiet. Yeah. That's the way this music feels to me right now. I love
it. I know. Shout out to Dai. I'm just going to have to shout him out every damn episode because he really, like, turned it around, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, Ryukishi's writing is still good. Arguably, it gets better in the answer arcs, but, like, the graphics don't change, really. The writing doesn't change terribly much. The music just completely flips it around. And his, like, Ryukishi's idea of, like, I'm making a sound novel. It's not really about the graphics. Like, this is where it really begins. This is where we can really start to say, you know, this music is what's going to hook you, what's going to keep you going. Like, I definitely feel like, I'll talk about this more in a recap or something, but, like, I would not have hooked myself nearly as well with Higurashi as I have if it weren't for the music, because it's what I always come back to every single damn time.
Yeah. It's one of these things where, again, like, this music production, and, you know, this is maybe a discussion that you've probably heard more if you watched that Umineko playthrough, but, like, no spoilers, obviously.
Yeah.
But, like, this music production right now still isn't incredible. Like, the piano is muted, the strings in the background sound a bit jank and old, but the quality improvement
is huge.
Is massive.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, obviously it's nostalgic for me, but, like, this is Dai, like, making music out the back of his parents' basement, essentially. He's making do with what he can, and even to the point that a lot of these tracks, one in particular called Being, like, there are a bunch of tracks that he remade, and they're just fantastic now. I'm so looking forward to sharing those tracks with you. Maybe I'll put a link in the description somewhere in the comments, so, like, link that album, because it's just so good.
Yeah, I'd really love to hear this, like, you know, assuming it's all done with, like, MIDI and computer stuff, I'd really love to hear this, like, remastered with some proper libraries.
Yep.
Because the songwriting is still pretty decent.
It's pretty nice.
Most of what I've heard of Dai's work.
And it's only gonna get crazier, which is fantastic.
Alrighty. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever find out what I did, I'll never escape without going to juvie. Well, at least half the people in Hinamizawa would be off to prisons. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. It was a war. It might also have been a festival. A festival where every person in Hinamizawa joined together in protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones at the SWAT team with everybody. We hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we stuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing war than conducting one.
Do you remember in Arc 3 when we talked about how Sedeko's traps were like a form of communication with people?
Yeah.
Definitely similar stuff here. Something that I haven't really, like, written an essay on or, like, deconstructed perfectly yet, but, like, the way that Ryukishi approaches groups with lesser power fighting, like, you know, larger systems with a lot more power, and, like, the like, rebellion, or, like, fighting back against the system. Like, I really enjoyed the way that he portrays that, because he doesn't do it, he does it in a very tactful way. He shows a very personal fight, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and I think this is how most people just approach an encounter. Like, a lot of people will not take themselves too seriously, if they're doing things like this, because, you know, they believe they're doing the right thing. It's not that they're, you know, fully weighing up all of the moral implications from all sides. It's just that this is what I'm doing with the people I know and love, and I believe it's right. Yeah,
totally.
I got so excited back then. I felt united with my fellow members, even though they were strangers to me, and that memory warms my heart.
Aww.
Yes, the way it felt back then was like helping everyone to carry a sacred palanquin through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together. Who's riding it, though? Rika, obviously.
Obviously, little babby Rika. She's adorable.
Until we collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea.
Adorable.
I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. Didn't feel any different, though, than when I was called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. The other villagers were furious about the dam project, but for those of us who were kids at the time, it's a pretty fun memory. Well, that came to a sudden end a few years ago.
There's a lot of... There's trucks or tanks or what?
Really missed out on the body language right there.
What?
The audience did.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was just like, what is this?
Waving his
What's
hands
happening?
around. Are we about to get crushed? Is that the lawnmower again?
Oh, man. I'm so glad we're getting more sound design this arc. We've been missing it sorely.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Like, you laughed when that door closed earlier, but I don't think I felt such joy in such a long time in this story.
I know. It's great.
It wasn't only the power of the protests that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization worked secretly in the shadows. This is top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it's said they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson.
What?
In order to blackmail him.
Slander.
The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yochi. He didn't simply disappear and he wasn't demoned away. That means some kind of deal was made secretly. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspected the village's involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They'd do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibis and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Ugh.
What?
The car suddenly shook, snapping me out of it. Must have run over a bump or something.
Damn it,
I was
Kasai.
right!
What?
Don't worry.
I'm scared.
It's just that, we were obviously, something was about to go wrong when those sounds started playing. We're about to wake up.
It's too peaceful.
I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason.
Because of the sound design, she knows.
Ah, she must.
She knows.
If that's true, Shion's officially best girl.
Get out of life. Get out of here. Shion, worst girl. Anyway.
I must be looking forward to going home.
Shion-san, you awake?
What is it?
Would you like me to take you to the house in Okonomiya?
Where else would you be taking me? Answered straightforwardly with a frown. Guess I then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
It was the family head who decided on your enrollment in St. Lucia, and you ran away from there. You do understand the situation you're in.
School the hag chose us didn't fit me, that's all.
Shion-san.
I know. Shut up. As the head of the Sonozaki family, the hag's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to an academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born.
What if she decides that the 3-second rule is like a real thing? Just saying.
Maybe. Shion was the name they gave me. My sister Mion has a character that means demon in her name. That's to signify she's the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor to the Sonozaki family and its demonic bloodline. My name Shion has a character that means temple in it. Ooh. This means that I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. Thinking of that reminds me how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family. Because it meant the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain. It's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth.
Ooh.
Unbelievable, isn't it? What that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I was born. I don't know what exchange took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Or maybe she thinks that's just how you hold children.
Look, maybe it's fine. It's a ceremonial strangling. We cut oxygen to the brain for a good 3 seconds, and if they live, then they get a puppy. That's it. That's as soon as
Then why is there no puppy in the story, Ben?
Maybe there was.
Your theory has tripped at the first hurdle.
But maybe the puppy died, which is very sad to say. But like, I'm just saying.
We're twins.
I feel bad.
There are no apparent differences between us.
Why do you make me feel bad, Felix?
The first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion.
Yeah, get wrecked, Shion.
Everyone else was just desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart even if we only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day they created an undeniable clear distinction between Mion and Shion. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag to learn how to become the successor, and I was to be confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objection to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel that having to learn about and follow the traditions would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion, so I'm not going to be a threat to the family even if I'm back in Okinomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wanted to keep me away from her. It doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there. But I want her to let me live in Kinamiya where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Hinamizawa, but I don't remember it much, and I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memories of my elementary school days in Kinamiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there. This is already, like, immediately reframing actions in Arc 2, and I really love it.
There's a lot of info, and we're not even, like, an hour in. It's pretty crazy. If you go back to Okonomiya, somebody from the family will notice you, and then they'll report you to the main house.
You worried the hag will hear about me? That might be a problem.
I hope you understand the situation.
What, Kasai? Are you telling me to go back to that awful place?
No, I'm not. What I'm trying to say is...
You want to know whether I'm prepared or not?
I just hope you understand what might happen.
I know what you mean. You'll be held responsible for helping me escape if things go bad, right? You should caress your pinky finger while you can, Kasai, before they take it away from you.
Shit! Some Yakuza shit! You should look forward to being rolled up in a futon mat and thrown into the Onigafuchi swamp in that case. Maybe they'll send you to the torture room in the garden.
I love that he just knows about it, that's great.
I love Kasai.
There's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. Right at the start of that sound file, there's a car that comes from the right-hand side that sounds like it's playing a fucking organ as it goes.
It's great.
It keeps throwing me off.
I love that it's not just cars. Like, you hear the clicking sounds and the beeping and, like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's like a soundscape. It's like a proper soundscape in a play. It's beautiful.
I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. I've never seen it, though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies of the village in there.
Ooh.
It's just awful, really.
But not anymore.
Hope I don't end up as a victim of that place. That's some whiplash. Okay, everything's gonna be alright.
Oops. Oh, yeah, we good. You really resemble your mother in the way you take chances, I mean.
That's normal, she's my mom.
You okay there? You need a drink of water or something? I've got a little cappuccino in the glove box here.
No, it's fine, really.
I just want to make sure you had enough energy to go around and, get to your place. I want to make sure you're alright, That's all I'm saying.
I've been doing this voice for so long, and I still find it so hard to, like, add emotion to it, because, like...
Yeah, that's alright.
Obviously this is meant to be kind of like a humorous bit here, but I just, that's just not the way I read it.
It's totally fine.
Initially. My dad and mom will be furious if they find out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hag.
I quite like this voice. It's quite a good voice, I think.
I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza.
That's fucked up.
He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, though he's gentle now.
I've never heard a fly.
Also heard he has tons of scars. He's in charge of a few large areas, but after he was injured badly in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, otherwise known as a drinking buddy.
Yay!
He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. At first I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him, but in time I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle. My dad took the lead in the end. Guess I couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend.
Cute.
I can tell that from the way he acts. He's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and then. And he gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. Only found that after I got used to him. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. Contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Kinamiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky finger isn't too far from reality. I might be rolled up into a futon mat and thrown into the slump for real too. Even so, there's only one place for me to return. I'm going to Kinamiya and nowhere else. That's my hometown. This might be kind of a homesickness, but I don't care what it looks like.
Was it like a little what happened there?
Huh? Well,
don't worry about it.
For me?
Yeah. For homesickness,
I was beginning to preempt the next line.
It's alright. If you won't cut that little mutt sound,
I thought it was going to be a maybe, because it was like hypothesizing.
Fair enough. We'll have to see if there's any maybes. You can cash that in. So what are you gonna do? The Sonozaki family is everywhere.
Well, I'll lay low for now. If somebody sees me, I'll tell them I'm Mia.
Then what?
Then after things calm down a bit, I'll start talking to my closest relatives. I know they'll be on my side. I know some people who covered for me when I had a fight with my dad once.
I see. You're trying to create a fait accompli so that the Sonozaki main house will have to accept you later on. I hope that works.
Oh, it will. There were many people who were opposed to the idea of enrolling me in that school. That decision was obviously made because of the hag's hatred towards me. Don't you agree, Kasai?
Well, yes, I thought that decision was excessive.
She couldn't make the right decision because she was suffering from menopause. All the fuss surrounding the damn protest drove her nuts.
Yes, I smiled. I can't make a sound for that.
I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. Been there.
Such a tsundere.
In time I got tired of talking, as I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway. Guess I smoked me again.
Shion-san, look.
There it was again, the organ. It just drove past us. Did you hear it that time?
Yes, I heard it.
What is with that car?
I don't know. It's very musical.
Someone needs to have a look at that engine.
It's fine. He's just running on an organ, okay? It's organ-powered car.
It's like that video of like the full band on a motor trike in Russia.
I haven't seen that. You have to send that to me.
I'll have to see if I can find it. It was a big old meme back in the day.
It was like a good time.
I was so tired that I ignored him. I wondered what he wanted me to look at, but I wasn't that interested. And I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Guess they probably wanted me to see that sign. It had an illustration of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishibone City."
Oh boy, we made it!
My hometown is coming right up.
Yay!
Chapter 5, Meakashi.
Here it is.
Here it is.
This is thanks. Yeah. That's not quite it, but that's okay. This is thanks, boys. We made it. We made it to the DU melody. Not actual DU, I believe.
Yeah, it's just the theme from it, right?
This is thanks. It's
Look at this cast.
Yeah, it's sort of
It's been
Shion's
a while
theme.
since we've had these cast rolls. This is very slow.
It is very slow. This song's nice though. I guess we're just gonna sit through this beautiful song.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
just
that.
Crank it. Just crank it and talk over the top of it.
How are you finding it so far, Felix? Having a good time?
Oh my goodness, her mother's in the story.
Yes, she is. Hope you're enjoying yourself.
Oh my goodness.
On this beautiful red little background.
That was, I think, all of the sprited characters, right? So does that mean we're getting a sprite for her mother?
Maybe. We might get a sprite for her. To find out. Maybe next time on.
Next time.
Next time. Woo!
Look, there's white lines and stuff now.
It's beautiful. It's all different.
Oh.
It's all different. I love it.
So fancy.
Oh, I'm so excited. My heart, it's hurting.
Do we want to do the tip, actually?
It's only one tip. Sure, why not? Almost next time. Achievement unlocked. Goodbye, sister.
View new tips.
Get it? Because the sisters are her teachers, but she also has a sister. The notebook's beginning.
Stop. Music.
It's a music box version of DU. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and...
There we go. Alright. It's
It's
a really nice melody, that one. I do properly like that one. It's
Look, we're pretty much at that point. I'll talk about this more at the end of the episode of the arc, but there are like a bajillion different remixes of You. We've already heard 2 so far, and that isn't even the proper You yet.
Yeah.
It's like... So many people have made different remixes of You, and they've made them for all the different characters too. Heavily spoiled, but like, there's one for all the club members, there's all the sprite characters except for like 2. I don't think Kesai gets one, which is a bit sad.
When we started Umineko, when we got to the equivalent of that in Umineko, it took me a while to warm up to it. Higarashi's coming in with a home field advantage here because I've heard it before, so I've had time to warm up to it.
Yeah, it's in a little bit of Umineko's soundtrack as well.
Yeah,
1 or 2 songs.
That's how I've warmed up to it.
Thank God. It's so good.
But yeah, it is a nice little melody. Let's go. June 1982.
Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Meakashi festival. There were 3 possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search of the area and hadn't found his body, this possibility seems small. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi Kun has been living in dire circumstances. Dun dun dun. His close friends actually heard him imply he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible considering that aspect. But the police arrested another person for the murder, so this hypothesis must also be considered false.
Must also be considered false.
It must be. It's done. The last possibility is that he was involved in the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa is also called the curse of Oyashiro-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyashiro-sama's occult power is actually verified, this curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that Satoshi-kun was made disappear by someone's will. So the question is, whose?
Ooh.
The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the three families, which includes the Sonozaki family, or one of their many relatives, which are also part of those families. The police can assume that easily. Such a non-statement.
It really is.
It's either a member of the Furuta family, or the Sonozaki family, or one of the three families, I don't know which, or someone related to those.
The only way this could have been improved is if they'd added, could be someone from the village to the start of it.
Yes, absolutely. I need to think beyond that.
I need to think beyond that.
Who did it? How did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out that order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth. All are in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back, but even so, I can't reach anywhere. Oh, there are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so the tips of my fingers can barely touch them.
Time to stretch more often.
Yeah. The truth is hidden in places like those, in the small of your back. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself, except for the reader. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw these notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyashiro-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. If it was the former, that's okay. But if it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help this powerless young girl.
Bang.
That's it.
There you go.
Next
Next time.